and you're okay?
That's something that, and it's very easy. I mean, it's if you really want to take the easy way out, hey, all I have to do is just believe, and I'll be saved.
Yeah.
But in Islam teaches you that you are given faculties,
Yeah.
which you must use as a person to save yourself or to harm yourself. Each individual, Islam really puts the responsibility on the individual. So if I go out and I do something, I can say, okay, I'll be saved. In reality, life doesn't work like that. If I go out right now and I go kill someone, I have to suffer for it. I have to go to jail. I have to go through due process. And the state is going to make sure that justice is done. Then why is it that a creator who is all wise would say, okay, do what you want and all you have to do is believe? The logic just doesn't hold. I can't say, hey, you know what, I'm going to do things, and when I do something, I'm going to be saved because I believe. Islam teaches you, you have to believe, but then you also have to have something behind your belief that solidifies that belief. And what is that? That is action. You have to do things, and you have to believe. So the belief has two components. It's in your heart, and it's also actions, what you say and what you do. I can't say, hey, you know what, I'm a Muslim, and that's it. No, I have to work, I have to do good works. And the converse is true. You can't say, you know what, I don't believe, but I'm going to do good things. No, the two go together. You have to believe it in your heart, you have to testify with it in your tongue, and you have to use your hands. You have to use your mind, you have to use the faculties, which any person who has a brain or the ability to think, I think that would resonate with reasoning.
So there's accountability, and now you got to prove your love. You got to prove your belief,
right?
The actions.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Now talk to us. Now you accepted. There's something going on telling us now that look, we got to define some words because we got a lot of non-Muslims. They heard Islam, they heard Muslims, and you know they might got some other things in their head when we bring up these words. So we're going to just take a second. Islam simply means surrender and submission to the Creator alone. Him you pray to. Him you give charity for. He is the one that is dictating your life. And a Muslim is one who is doing Islam. Islam is a way of life that all the prophets and messengers followed. Whoa! Hearing something, and we can turn off the noise that was interrupting us. Now, you're a Muslim now. You've chosen, you've taken that free choice, that free will that you have now to either go and worship a man, to worship a cow, to worship the sun, the moon, maybe your desires now. You could have stopped and just made up your own religion. People, they don't say they're making up their own religion, but when they're just doing their own thing, making things up, say, you know, I'm just a good person, it's in my heart, and they'll just make things up as they go along. You knew that, no, this is not, you didn't even do, we didn't even get into that, but was there a point, before I go to my next point, that maybe you said that, you know, the heck with all of this, I'm going to just do my own thing. Did you ever come to that?
At a point in my life, to be honest with you, I felt that, you know what, if I'm just a good person, and I take all the good things from the, you know, like kind of cherry pick, yeah. The best from Buddhism, the best from Judaism, the best from Christianity, the best from Islam, and I do a good thing, I should be okay.
Yeah.
There was a point when I felt that would be okay.
Why didn't you do that?
Because again, in the back of my mind, I just did not feel, there was something, I cannot tell you what it is, but there was always the question of, what is this all about?
Yeah.
Are you being, and I think, you know, most people will say it's your conscience, but at some point, your conscience is going to tell you, this is not right, or this is right. And even though, in a limited sense, that your conscience is not what you follow, but to a certain point, it always guides you. Mm-hmm. And once you've reached the point where you should be guided, then things kind of take over from that. It may not make sense, but at some point your conscience is always going to give you an honest feedback.
So that wasn't, you wouldn't be being honest and sincere. That's just the easy way out.
That's the easy way out.
Okay, so let's go on to this now. Now you're a Muslim. Now you've chosen to do God's thing. You've chosen to do the cool thing. Islam is cool. You want to do what God wants you to do. That's Islam. Simple as that. Nothing less than paradise. Tell us now, what are some of the challenges? Was it easy at first? Is it easy now? Do you feel like you got this one-way ticket? You know, it's just all, as they say, hunky-dory, or it's just good? Tell us now, for those who've accepted Islam, because I personally witnessed it, that, you know, it's not something that, you know, it's going to take some work. Did it take some work to start praying 5 times a day? Did it take some work to leave off some of the things that God tells you to leave off? Talk about this.
And that's something that I think the human being is a lazy and forgetful person. That's why we have commercials, you know, always reminding us, go buy this or go buy that. Yeah. And I think, to be honest with you, when I was first introduced to Islam, I was, you know, I love pork.
Yeah.
That's an example. I said, you know what, I can't give up the pork.
Yeah.
I can't give up, and for I think maybe a year, I just said, you know, I can't give up the pork.
It's a test now.
And it was a test, and slowly but surely, I was able to overcome that.
Yeah.
But there are things that every person has a vice.
Yeah.
And even he could be the biggest sheikh, or he could be the smallest evildoer.
Yeah.
He has a vice, or she has a vice, and that's something that's a challenge that is placed within the human being, whether he's a Muslim or a non-Muslim, a good person or a bad person. That if he or she is able to overcome that vice, or that thing that can actually pull you one way or the other, then that person is beginning the process of being true to him or herself, because you've recognized, hey, I'm a weak person when it comes to this, or I'm a weak person when it comes to that. But then once you're able to recognize that and move beyond that, and always keep that in mind, then I think the process begins, where you can be honest with yourself, you can be honest with others, and most importantly, you can be honest with your Creator.
Tell us, what are some of the proofs? Nowadays, look, you know, people, when you bring up any kind of Islam, they say, okay, this is just one of those religions. What distinguishes Islam from the rest of these man-made religions? Because I don't think we should have to follow a man-made religion. A way of life that we follow should be from the Creator. So how does someone know that Islam is a way of life from the Creator?
I think the responsibility factor. I mean, you look at the fact that as a Muslim, you're required to pray 5 times a day. Mm-hmm. No matter how much a person believes or disbelieves, that's going to be a test for him or her.
Yeah.
You're not just going to say, you know what, I'm going to pray and just go through the motions. If you're going to spend a great portion of your day, or significant times in your day when you're praying, that should say something. The other thing is the fasting. If you don't fast, I will never know. You could, or if I can say, you know what, we're fasting, we're all fasting, and I go sneak and have something to drink, or I go do something that I'm not supposed to do during fasting. So, and come back and pretend that I'm fasting. But these are the individual things that we do that develops us, that develop our belief system, to believe that you know, there is a Creator, and He sees me no matter where I go. I can't escape my Creator. So the responsibility factor, that okay, I'm responsible for what I do, and I will be asked about everything that I do. Mm-hmm. That really puts something in the human, in the mind, that says, you know, at some point, you are going to be held accountable. And if we are honestly aware of that, if we're sincere to ourselves, then I think that's enough proof for us. And there were thousands of prophets that came, and their message was, you know, believe in the one God and obey me. But in order for you to believe, and in order for you to obey the prophet, you have to be responsible. We have to take responsibility for the things that we do, and the activities that we engage in.
You think if someone's sincere, he wants to know the truth, that it doesn't take too many degrees to figure out that Islam is the way that is from the Creator? Does it provide an ample amount of evidence that someone just, you know, because it's easily, we tend to, as human beings, always look for the easy way. So I think that you know, you mentioned something before. Right now, this good point that you mentioned that, you know, the actions that Islam has you do, because a lot of the other ways, it's kind of like you just